Hey everyone, welcome back to wicks. This is Yvette. What we're going to be doing today is going over basic candle anatomy. If you're looking at my screen, you're seeing TradingView, okay? Just totally free to make an account with TradingView. Each stick that you see is called a candle, so we're going to break that down into simple terminology for you today. So here on the left-hand side, generally you'll see candles green for bullish and red for bearish. You can always change the colors on your trading view, but here you see what they call the candle body. Candle body, essentially they call that the essence of price movement, all right? Above you see this line. That line is called a wick. It usually has one at the bottom as well. It is also called a wick. Same thing for the bearish candle, guys. The bearish candle has this line on top. It is called your wick or upper wick. And it also has a line underneath it, which is a lower wick. All right. So they'll most likely be present or they won't be. It just depends on that particular candle. So on the left-hand side, green, bullish, what does that mean? That means your buyers. That means for this particular candle, your buyers had control. So if you're looking at the candle body, you can see right here, that is where the candle opens. And because when you buy, price moves up, all right, this is where your candle closes. Okay, price was low and closed higher than it was previously. So your open is at the bottom of the body for your bullish candle and your close is at the top. So that means again that your buyers had control for this particular candle. All right. On the right hand side, you have the red candle body. That means bearish. That means your sellers. All right. So price began here at your open. It opened here. And what happened? Price dropped or sold off and is now at a lower price than it was previously, right? I hope that makes sense. It opens here, falls, and closes here. So how do these wicks come into play? So the highest point of that wick is your high. That is the highest point that price reached, meaning price opened here on our bullish candle, pushed up to this high, and then closed here, okay? That is what that means. This lower wick, all right, at some point in time, price opened here, fell here, and then pushed up here, and then closed here, all right? Don't confuse yourself. Just understand when you're looking at a candle, this is the candle body, okay? For your bullish candle, this is your open, price moves up, bought up, and closes here. This is your lowest point that price reached for this candle, and this is the highest point that price reached for this candle. On the right-hand side, all right, for your seller candle, your bearish candle, again, we opened at the top of the body. You had a high here, meaning at some point in time, price pushed up to this point, price ended up pushing down to this point and inevitably closed here, all right? When you're looking at this candle, it's, hey, what's the important part? Price opened and sold off and closed here. So your price closed lower than it started, all right? Now, let's talk a little bit about what the candle bodies mean depending on how large or small they are. So your larger candle bodies, all right, here is your larger bullish candle body, your larger bearish candle body, means there was more momentum or strength in that candle. So your buyers had a lot of strength to be able to push price closer to that high, right? Your sellers had a lot of strength to be able to push price towards that low. When you see smaller body candles, it means there was not a lot of strength or momentum behind that move. Yes, your bullish candle closed as bullish, but it wasn't really able to push and close super high, right? On the right hand side, your bearish candle, this candle body is a little small. There wasn't a lot of strength behind that move. There wasn't a lot of momentum, right? So yes, it closed as a seller candle, but the fact that it is a smaller body, right, means that, yeah, it closed as a seller candle, but you can tell that they don't really have a lot of strength. All right. So we've talked about the anatomy of your candle. We've talked about the candle bodies. Let's get into the wick of your candle. So the reason why I have these candle bodies black is because it doesn't matter the color of your candle when you're talking about the wicks, okay? I need you guys to understand that when you're specifically talking about a wick, especially if your candle has a longer upper wick, that means that your buyers tried with all their might to close price up here, but it didn't work. Your sellers came and pushed price down and forced it to close lower, okay? That's what you need to understand. So in short, the longer your upper wick, especially if it's accompanied by a smaller body, that means that you have sellers present. You have selling pressure. Your sellers are trying to come into the market. The candle body does not necessarily have to be this small. All right. You could have like this, but the fact that your upper wick is extremely, extremely big or longer than you usually see it, that means your sellers are trying to come into the market. On the right hand side, you have a long lower wick. So what does that mean? That means at some point in time, your sellers were able to push price this low, but they were not able to maintain that low. They weren't able to keep the low there, right? They weren't able to close it down there. They pushed it up. All right. So what does that mean? That means that your buyers are trying to come into the market. Your buyers are present. Same thing with this candle. It does not need to be this small. It could be like this. The fact that there is no wick at the top, but a wick at the bottom, and it's fairly big, it's telling you, hey, you know what? Your buyers are trying to come in. Okay. So whenever you see those, please be aware that that is what is happening. It gives you an indication of a potential turnaround, a potential reversal. It does not guarantee, right? So let's say price is moving up. Price is moving up. And then you see this, and you see candles with a lot of upper wick rejection. That is what they call it. Upper wick rejection. You could potentially be reaching a point of a turnaround, meaning price could potentially start to sell. And here, let's say price is falling, falling, falling. And then you see this type of candle here, and you see a lot of candles like that after, where you see like the long lower wick. That is telling you, hey, you could potentially see price turn around to the upside and buy because your buyers are trying to come in. All right. So another thing that I would like to go over with you guys are your time frames on your trading view. So if I go to the monthly for US 30 or Dow Jones, this is telling me that each candle represents 1 month of time. If I drop down to the week, this is telling me that each individual candle represents 1 full week. All right. Daily, it means that each candle represents 1 day, right? 24 hours. 4 hour. All right. I know it's redundant at this point, but each candle represents 4 hours of time. 1 hour. Each candle represents 1 hour of time. And lastly, we'll just go to the 15-minute. 15-minute, each candle represents 15 minutes. So looking at the 15-minute, this is telling me your sellers, because on my chart, the buyers represent pink and the sellers represent black. Each candle here that you see falling, right, selling off, means that my sellers had control for this 15 minutes and this 15 minutes. So they had control for quite a while. All right. And over here, you have your buyers having control for majority of the time. Now let's look at this, because we talked about, hey, like your smaller candle body, that means like, hey, we're losing momentum, right? We're moving to the upside. Your candle bodies got smaller. And then what happened? It's telling you, hey, you might see a reversal. And that's exactly what you got. You got that reversal. And you see that the momentum that these candles had, the volume of these candles, right? Because they're larger, means that there was more intention behind this move. And they had a very strong push to the downside. That is all we're going to be going over today. I greatly appreciate you guys for joining me. Thank you so much.